Jürgen, first of all, can we start with Diogo Jota? What's the extent of his injury? Will he be available this weekend?
No, will not be available, but the extent is still not clear. We need further assessment. It's something with some ligaments around the ankle, but not the ligaments, some others. And so, yeah, pretty much everything is possible in the moment, and it will go really quick, and the other way around, unfortunately, as well. So we have to wait that everybody saw the pictures with him in the boot. It's a normal procedure. Even when you just feel something there, they put you in that boot. And but no, for the weekend, for sure not.
Despite that news about Diogo, things are going really well at the football club. You're winning games whether you're playing well or needing to dig in. It's 7 on the bounce now. But obviously, in terms of the league, you're reliant on City dropping points. So when you're in that kind of situation, what's the biggest challenge for you as a manager? Because when all's said and done, there's not an awful lot to fix here.
It is actually a lot to fix here. And we sit together now in the morning. We last night I sat at home. Could have watched football, but tried to avoid it. And then I realized, tomorrow night, tomorrow is -1 again. So, and that's for the players tough as well. So there's a lot of things you have to think about. And obviously a game like with the intensity of the last one, there's one obvious thing with Diogo, but all the rest, we don't know yet. So we have actually to wait for you. Never the information you get a day after the game are the injuries. The information you get 2 days after the game are the little nickels and where the players still feel it and you cannot use them. So we are not even at that point in this moment in time. I have no idea who we can line up. Yes, he should have good options, but we don't know. And from all the problems I have, the smallest one is actually that we have what you said about City. So I don't even, there's no day in the week when I think about that, to be 100% honest. No minute actually. And because this decision is already clear, we have nothing to do with that. We only have to win our football games, and then we will see if we come closer or not. So that's pretty much everything about that. On the other side, it's we fight for the Champions League spot to play next year Champions League again, which is for the club incredibly important. So for that, we need to win games. If we want to go further in the cup competition or win the cup, then you have to win football games. So it's actually always the same solution. You solve all your problems with winning football games. And that's why that's the only thing we are really thinking and talking about. Was always like this, will always be like this, and it's in the moment like this as well.
And Mo Salah, 1 goal away from 150 for Liverpool. I just wonder, with that kind of landmark within reach, where can Mo put himself in terms of the all-time greats of this football club?
I'm only 7 years here now. So many. The club is so much older, and so much great players were here. So that Mo is that this team is one of the better ones in the wonderful history of this club is clear, and that Mo has a massive part in that is clear as well. So the number speaks for themselves. It's absolutely insane. When you say now 150, I thought it was only recently that we spoke about 100. So it's obviously a massive number, and hopefully he can do that tomorrow.
Thanks, Jürgen.
Thanks, Vinny. In terms of running order, Pete Colley now, then Juliet Farrington and Mike Hughes in that order. Pete, over to you.
Sorry, I can't be with you today.
Okay.
Oh, I'd like to say we miss you all, but it would be a lie.
Same. Is there a tangible difference to Liverpool's dressing room, to training, when you get Mo Salah back like you did last week?
What do you mean with that? Sorry.
Is there a different feeling about the place when you've got Mo Salah back, as you did from like the AFCON?
So yes, we are happy when the dressing room is full. It means when they all are there. Having Mo back, obviously, is a real good news, because before that he was away, and like Sadio was, and like Naby was. So when they came back, they got exactly the same reception. It's not that we think when he's coming back, finally we can win football games again, because we have to do that as well when he was not here, and the boys did that quite in an impressive way. So yes, but the best thing is you have to everybody in the dressing room, they're all fit and fine, and then you can go from there. Absolutely.
At the start of August, you beat Norwich 3-0. Does your analysis show many differences between then and now Dean Smith has taken over?
Yes, no, yes and no. Of course, you all know that how much I like and respect Daniel Farke, who is now somewhere in Russia working, and he did obviously an incredible job there. But the start of the season for Norwich was obviously pretty tricky. And then Dean came in, and Dean is obviously wherever he was in football, he had success because he's good, really good. The things he's doing is really good. They brought in a few new players. Very interesting signings anyway from the first day. Like with two of them, I know pretty well, with Sargent and Rashika, and so it's a really good football playing side. Didn't get the result often enough. That's why they have the points tally they have. But it's still a really good football playing side. And when you think about Norwich, they just will not stop believing in staying in the league, and I admire that actually. I really like that. And you can see that in the way they play. It's a very positive style. Yes, pretty direct as well. But if you let them play with all the guys they have in midfield, and then with the strikers up front, then they play. And if you give them the chance to go in behind your last line, they will go, because they have, especially with Rashika and Pukki, proper speed there. And so we have to be pretty much everywhere 100%, because we have tried to avoid these kind of passes in behind. But if you do that, you have to make sure that you have a really good setup for that. And our situation is obviously we cannot ignore our situation. So we played on Wednesday night and only came back yesterday because of the wind. So now we play tomorrow again. So it's just for different reasons a difficult game for us. But I really hope for the support that however windy it will be, that the crowd pushes us even more.
Thanks, Pete. And just before we go back to the room now, we do have two sections to come in this, and I'm conscious of doing press conferences, so we'll probably just take one unless there's need for a follow-up. Juliet, followed by Mike, followed by Carl and Neil as well.
Hey, Jürgen. Can we talk about Bobby Firmino? Obviously, the goal he scored in midweek at the San Siro, but does that just sum up his worth and professionalism? He's been here a while now. We've seen that, obviously game time can be limited for him, but it's that never say die attitude and that approach and that professionalism that he comes on and just makes things happen.
Bobby's. If you would know him better, you would be even more positive about him, because he's just an incredible person. You could see when he came on, it was the most difficult position pretty much on the pitch, because Diogo got injured in these kind of fights in the first half, and then Bobby came on, and it's really tricky to keep the ball there. And we needed that. We needed still to play in these areas. When he scored a goal, then you could see everything is back. So that was really nice. I mean, then Bobby is in a mood that helps the team massively. So I'm not sure if any of the players should think like, maybe I will not get a lot of minutes, so I should use the few I get, because you never know. And also, especially with the quality of Bobby, he could play in this team. He could be in each lineup of this team every day because of his quality. But it was maybe one of the most important away goals we scored so far, because of how the game went, and it calmed everything down. Bobby scored, and then in that moment, the momentum, we got the momentum back 100% in this game. And that's how it is in these tight fights with strong opponents. You need an opener, and we're all very happy. How you can imagine that Bobby scored. We could have scored everybody, but with Bobby is always this extra thing because of how unselfish he is. Everybody thinks, come on, Bobby, from time to time, you should make it yourself. And that's exactly what he did there. And really, really good.
Thanks, Jules. Mike?
Jürgen, when you look at the array of the forward talent that you have at the top end of the pitch now, and I know Diogo Jota's currently injured, but he hasn't stopped scoring since the moment he walked through the door. Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino. You've got Luis Diaz now. There's Divock Origi, Takumi Minamino. Harvey Elliott can play there. It's an impressive rank, isn't it? Is it the strongest that you've ever had at the top end of the pitch since you've been the Liverpool manager?
Yeah, but I really don't like talking about it because since 2 weeks roundabout, we talk constantly about it. And the first thing what happened was Diogo Jota is out. So we don't know how long. So makes it not the same number. And then we don't know when the next game happens. And then we play midweek, and then we play the weekend, and then we play Champions League again. And all these kind of things happens now like this. And it's just, yes, we know the fact that it's a really good team. Absolutely, a really good squad. But in the end, we have to deliver and we have to fight. And in the quality of the boys, like the potential of the boys was not the key for the win at Milan, at Inter. The key for it was the attitude we showed, the spirit we created on the pitch, the mood we brought ourselves in on the pitch. That made a difference. And not who can play. It's not when the past, whatever people call Madrid the white ballet or something like that, because but we are not that, by the way. So it's all what you make of it. What do you make of the things you have available? And the boys have to, and we all have to. We have just to fight and not to think about how good we could be. We are not the Harlem Globetrotters. We are not, for sure. Now there, by the way, there are a lot of really good football teams and squads. We have to battle with. Nobody is happy with being second or whatever. Reaching a final is great. If you lose it, everything is, nothing anymore or stuff like this. So we need each and one of them, and not talking about it constantly. I get it, but I answered the question already 5 million times. So why we talk constantly about the squad? It's there, great, really great. Usually we talk about it when we don't have enough players. We think we should sign more players, all these kind of things. That's absolutely great. But we spoke 2 weeks about it, and now Diogo is out. So let's stop asking me about it. Think about it, write about it, do whatever you want. But my opinion is clear. Yes, top squad, best I ever had. But it's so much more important what kind of mood in the team and in the stadium we can create to get results. Because you don't win a Champions League away game at Inter Milan because you are good. You win it because you want it with all you have. And that's what we did.
But talking about exactly what you've just mentioned then, Jordan Henderson came off the bench the other night and showed once again what a wonderful influence he is. And what Jordan brings to the team is more than the sum of his talents, isn't it? Because it's the attitude that he has. And you get the feeling that he's a great leader, but I think he inspires other leaders in the team as well.
They all do. To be honest, they all do. And I love Hendo to bits. That's how it is. But how he reacted, yes, it's true. It's a perfect example because he didn't start, and I'm pretty sure I didn't ask him to talk to him and ask him to expect to start or whatever. So, I know that's how the players are and how he is obviously expected to start it. And it's clear. And then didn't start, and you come on and you make that, and the whole world asks you the question, why didn't he start? So that's exactly what a player has to do, how you have to react. And that was a perfect example, and absolutely perfect. But not only him, Naby came on and had the same influence, but it was brilliant when he came on. And then on top of that, Luis and Bobby scored the goal and all these kind of things. That's what you need. And that's the moment, because you can have the best squad in the world. I don't know where that is, but you can't have it if the boys are not happy with the situation in the squad that you have all of a sudden so many players available on your position. If the players lose confidence in these moments when they don't start, you have a problem. Because the same 15 play all the time, they're all full of, when you're winning, they're all full of confidence. Yes, they're tired, but they're full of confidence. But now you have to get it from somewhere else. That's as well. And if you are, that's how I understand it. If you come on, you have to do exactly what the 5 boys in the end did when they came on against Inter.
Okay. Carl and Neil, then we go to the first breakout section. Just for the people listening on the Zoom, we've got 2 in the room who I presume want to ask a question, so we can probably take 1 more for the dailies, but that would be it. Carl, we're still on the original open press.
Hi, Jürgen. It's a wider looking question, and apologies, because I know you like looking at the immediate thing, but you've already said Kelleher will play in the League Cup final. It'll be 3 weeks since his last game when he plays. So I'm wondering, is there any plans to have him play any competitive or non-competitive stuff for this week?
No, he's used to that. He's used to that. He always plays when he's not playing before. He's used to that. No plans. Hopefully we don't have to do it. Not because I don't trust Grief. No. Put me something happens to Ali, and I hope that will not happen. No.
Thank you, Carl. Neil, and then this concludes the open section. Neil.
Just wondered, as a manager, how hard you find it telling players they're not in the squad, never mind on the bench, because I think at Burnley last week it was Curtis, Joe Gomez, Taki, Divock. Is that maybe one of the hardest parts of when you see them training every day and then you're having to disappoint them over a weekend or a midweek?
Not sure if hard is the right description, but it's the part I like the least. Let me say it like this, because it's easy when the boys give you reasons. So like spending 3 nights in a row in a bar or whatever, or pictures in a pub, stuff like this, then you're not here, you don't understand the situation, obviously, whatever, we never had that. So I cannot use that. But none of these players deserved it so far. It's not that you think, that's easy. All the decisions were really difficult, and yes, don't like that, but it's still part of the game, part of the business, and still, how I said, there might be the chance that you start next week. That's how it is. And you better keep yourself in a good place. Be angry with me, no problem. Be disappointed, no problem. But next day, show up latest and be the best version of yourself and go again. And then you make the decisions difficult, because if you drop in training, it's not a good solution, because then it starts going the wrong direction. So, but never happened, to be honest. The response, the group is incredible, absolutely incredible. And yeah, it's like it is. Will happen probably for tomorrow as well. Again, the players want to talk to me. That happens not before the game, so like not after the decision or before the game. Then after the game, we've played the game, then they can come and talk. But the answers are pretty easy. You have to make sure that you are in the squad. I am only the observer. I only watch the things, and the players have to deliver. And the longer you deliver, the more likely or even sure is it that your situation will change, because of the quality they have.